So, there I was, thinking that I could just relax for a couple of days before New York Comic Con kicks off, when all of a sudden, the grand fromage of Marvel Legends, Danyan, posts a very suggestive little tweet implying that we are not done for made-to-order Marvel Legends for this year. We've just had Mephisto revealed, a month or two ago? But he's implying that before the calendar ticks around to January 1st, there might just be another one that's going to be revealed, maybe even at New York Comic Con, but I don't want to get too excited about that. But what I do want to get excited about is what that figure might be. So, the Model Behavior Facebook group, God bless ya! That's my hive mind that I can pull all these ideas from, and we're going to go through what potential characters could be this new made-to-order figure. And then at the end, of course, I'm going to tell you which one I would like it to be. So first of all, in order to know where we're going, we've got to look back at where we've been. As I mentioned, Mephisto was the most recent one. He looks fantastic. He really does. Like, that's what we wanted with the throne and everything. Then before that, we had the X-Men 97 Sentinel. I think that should have been dropping by now, but they had to push it back a little bit. I really want another Sentinel, but I didn't want the animated style. And then before that, kicking this whole thing off, was Dragon Man. And that's another kind of dream project right there, to be honest. A deep-cut character who's big and hefty, and they did him justice. The reviews are coming out now, people are getting him in hand, and he seems to be exactly what we wanted. So the bar is pretty high for these figures. So Model Behavior Hive Mind, what are we going to get before the end of the year, at least revealed? You know, it's going to be about a year before we actually get it on our shelves. So the first suggestion, funnily enough, was a bit of an outside-the-box one from Joey B. Mangog. This is one that's totally specific to a very hardcore Marvel fan. And I appreciate that, because that's the whole point of made-to-order things. It should be something that you can argue, your average Joe on the street, John Sixpack over here, he's not going to recognize this character. But the hardcore sickos like me, we know a Mangog when we see one. I pride myself on recognizing a Mangog when I see one. Also, for me, being a Spider-Man fan, there was a story recently where Spidey kind of adopted as a pet, like a little mini version of Mangog, which was kind of adorable. So if they did him as like a little pack-in character as well, it could be pretty cool. But that's just getting started. There are a whole lot more suggestions to go through. A huge one came up next, and it's one that, honestly, I said I was going to wait until the end. I'll tell you now. Apocalypse. That's what I want to see. I want a big, badass Apocalypse based off of the old Toy Biz Builder figure. We're never going to get one that big again, and to think we got that as a Builder figure. We didn't know how lucky we were. What a halcyon time that was. And I've always been so close to pulling the trigger on buying that Builder figure, because I swear it still lives up to today's standards. The face sculpt is so good. If they could do a big, towering Apocalypse, that would be absolutely amazing. Because the ones that we've got, the current Builder figure, the retro Apocalypse, they're decent. I'm not knocking those at all, but give me some size, give me some more heft. One that could tower over my... I shouldn't have done that. Apocalypse and Randy Savage impressions, they always make me cough. So yes, an Apocalypse made-to-order big bad figure would look so darn cool. And also, I'm not done with Apocalypse either, because a completely separate suggestion was Capcom Apocalypse. And that opens up a whole new area of discussion as well. Because it wouldn't be Capcom, it would be Gameverse Apocalypse. But a giant Capcom anime-looking Apocalypse by any other name would still be every bit as badass. Give him like the huge big hammer fists and the different morphing weapons. That could be so cool. I know that you wouldn't be able to have him at his full, giant, towering size that he was in his final form in the game. Doesn't matter. Just give us that kind of cool anime Capcom aesthetic. I'd be all over that. And speaking of the Capcom aesthetic, one of the other suggestions on the Facebook group was, of course, Onslaught, who was the villain of Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I want to say. I'm pretty sure, yeah, he was. Why am I questioning myself? Never done that before. So Onslaught would be so good to see. I've wanted him as a HasLab, but it seems like with every day that passes, we get further and further away from that glorious possibility. But as a made-to-order, big, bad, terrifying figure, I'd buy two. Just to go, well done, Hasbro. You deserve two, just for giving me exactly what I want. The only thing is, on one of my leak lists, we had a retro-carded Onslaught. So they might already be planning to re-release the Build-A-Figure, probably with a different paint job, and just slap him on a retro card, which honestly, I'd be kind of cool with as well. But I want the big bad one. But since the rumored leak is out there, they probably wouldn't want to double dip. So sadly, I think that might be unlikely. Now, this is one I really, really love, and I'd love to manifest it. A giant transforming Sandman. That would be so cool. I need something to build my Spider-Man diorama display around. And like a Sam Raimi Spider-Man 3 ending type Sandman, where he's just this gigantic mountain of sand with a vague human head and arms coming out with various bits of like construction equipment and debris stuck inside him. Oh, that would be so cool. Complete pie in the sky. I don't think that's something that's going to happen, but it'd be pretty cool if it did. This next one is one that Hasbro could garner so much goodwill by doing, and that's, of course, the Hellcharger with Robbie Reyes. I mean, if Hasbro genuinely, guys, if you wanted to look like a baller, if you wanted to be like, you wanted it, boom, here you go. And then you could literally say, Hasbro, where the fans really do come first. Because I think a lot of people feel like this Hellcharger Robbie Reyes is lost to time now. Because they have to double down on the message that if the HasLab doesn't succeed, then that's it. But it doesn't have to be. We just got Mephisto. So you've got the plans, you've got the specs, you've got everything you need to put the Hellcharger into production. And if you did this as a made-to-order figure, you'd literally be going, hey guys, we want to give you what you want. The HasLab didn't work out, but we found this new way to give you the product that you need without taking on the huge risk. Let's do it. Like I said, that'd be a baller move. Hasbro, you know that makes sense. Let's see if it happens. One that's kind of super simple, but why the heck not? Go back for the third time with another Sentinel, another comic-accurate Sentinel. I say third time as in the HasLab, then we got the 97 one. But what about just another comic-accurate Sentinel? Doesn't have to be as big as the HasLab, because of course you don't want to be doing HasLabs again. You want that to be like a one-shot. But if you could give us a comic book Sentinel in the same kind of size and scale as the X-Men 97 figure, absolutely, because I'm looking over at my HasLab Sentinel now, and it's like, yeah, he's amazing, but he looks a little bit lonely. So if you could give me like a few more smaller ones to back him up, that would be amazing. Because right now with the entire X-Men Jim Lee Blue and Gold team fighting him, it's kind of a mugging. So yeah, some more of those would be awesome. And with that in mind, let me go back over to the Gameverse side of things, because of course, the Gameverse Sentinel. That's one that you feel like that must be on the horizon. I feel like that's possibly one of the most likely ones. I mean, we're knee-deep in Gameverse now. And really, the Sentinel is the only missing piece of the puzzle. Yeah, there are other characters, but we have them in various other forms. But that specific Capcom Gameverse Sentinel, he's big and chonky enough that you could argue it needs to be a direct order thing. So with that being the case, Hasbro, give them to us. Now, an old classic, one that we've always going to be coming back to, no matter how many times we do HasLabs or made-to-order items. It's Fang Foom. And the funny thing is, everyone always suggests this, and it makes perfect sense. It's the first build. Was he no, he wasn't the first Build-A-Figure, but one of the most famous ones, and more specifically, one of the only ones that we haven't had a redo of. So, of course, folks will always ask for Fang Foom, but I can't help but feel that Fang Foom is getting requested just because people are like, well, we haven't had him again, so, do him. I mean, who really wants Fang Foom? I'm asking genuinely. I'm not knocking it, but I'm like, I'm not a big-time Iron Man collector. Like, of course, you need Iron Man, but then do I need the giant green dragon? Well, not so much. But I feel like if they did it, everyone would just be like, well, I gotta get it. It's Fang Foom. And honestly, yeah, I'd probably be that guy as well. So it would make sense to do it. Circling back around to X-Men 97, because they are going deep on that line as well, Bastion, final form Bastion. Because again, a lot of these figures that get suggested are just like normal human-sized figures, and with that being the case, you can't really justify a direct order, like just put it in a wave. But final form Bastion with the huge big wings, I mean, I would argue that could still be a deluxe figure, but yeah, you know, they could throw in all sorts of different technological morphing abilities and different heads, and they could do like the really gnarly, mashed up, bashed up, eyeball exposed head. That'd be pretty cool, actually. I would probably put him in my comic book display if they made him, because regular Bastion from the HasLab, it doesn't really mash my potatoes, but that big winged monstrosity, I mean, look, how badass do you have to be to rip your opponent's arm off and then beat them over the head with it? That's how badass 97 Bastion was, so I'd kind of like to have him on my shelf. Another character that I didn't even think of, but makes so much sense, Annihilus. Diamond Select disappointed a lot of people when we were this close. In the words of that dude from Star Wars, we were this close to greatness. Or honestly, with my opinion of Select, we were this close to adequacy. But then we didn't get Annihilus, and the molds were out there. I mean, ones are actually made. I wonder who has them. That's got to go for a pretty penny. But Hasbro might have seen the writing on the wall, saw that Select was shutting shop, and they're like, you know what? This could be our time to step up. Again, it's another Builder figure that hasn't been remade. So doing a made-to-order Annihilus, I could absolutely see this happening. And then all of a sudden, Marvel Legends, boom, you're everyone's favorite company again. Until like 5 minutes time when you give us something else to complain about. This was a really fun suggestion. Stegron the Dinosaur Man. Yep, great call. I would love to have a Stegron for my Spider-Man display. And I'm surprised that we haven't had one already. This is another character that I could think you could totally do as a deluxe figure. I mean, he's a big boy, but he's not that big. You've pretty much got Rhino with a tail. That's pretty much the size of Stegron. Even Capcom Juggernaut, I think, would be bigger than him. But if you wanted to make him direct to order, you could go full on, like make him that much bigger, that much more detailed, a better paint job. The possibilities are endless. Big bipedal T-Rex dinosaur man? Yeah, absolutely. That would be a guaranteed pre-order from me. Oh, one that's so cool, I dare not even dream we might ever get him. And that's Cameron Hodge from Extinction Agenda. This is one that's so grim and gnarly and gruesome. Well, actually, I don't think Hasbro wouldn't make it because he's grim, gnarly, and gruesome. They make grim, gnarly, and gruesome characters on occasion. But this is just such a weird monstrosity. It's definitely one for the sickos, and I count myself amongst that. If you're not familiar with Extinction Agenda, you could go check out my As Told by Toys video. But one toy that was missing was the human cyborg spider nightmare monstrosity Cameron Hodge. And that's one that I want on my shelf. This would be a fun one. Frost Giants. Just generic Frost Giants. The big rumor du jour right now. Don't entirely know what du jour means, but I think it fits in that sentence. The big rumor du jour right now is that the next Marvel Max figure, or the Maximum line figure, is going to be Thor. So what better way to complement that than with a whole bunch of Frost Giants? The only problem is they would be possibly... I was going to say they would launch the Frost Giants before they announce Thor, but who knows when they're going to announce what. So, yeah, do a Frost Giant. Just a big, generic, badass Frost Giant, because you could always go to Mythic Legions for those, but they do get pretty expensive. Plus, you could throw in different heads and weapons, so you could army build them. Come on, guys. Hasbro, you love giving us army builders, because that's multiple orders right there. I know there are folks who have ordered 3, 4, 5 of the 97 Sentinels. So you want a big Norse mythology type display? Give us a whole bunch of Frost Giants. Oh, man, one that would be a real crowd pleaser, and I keep campaigning for, just, you know, when I say campaigning, I mean moaning on videos because they haven't made it yet, is Giganto. Is it Giganto? It is Giganto. Basically, my brain didn't have the name. It was just big monster from Fantastic Four #1. That's what I want, as a diorama set. Could you imagine that? That would just be so awesome. You don't need the whole monster. Who knows? We don't even know what he looks like under there. But it doesn't matter. We just need the head sticking up from some asphalt with the hand there, maybe some articulated fingers so you can put any characters in there. That would be so great. That's the huge big market. that Marvel Legends have been missing out on is dioramas and diorama pieces. So doing a whole set like this that you can position your Fantastic Four around, that'd be amazing. We can go a little bit more cosmic with this next one. How about the Living Tribunal? This is definitely a deep cut, because even I would probably think like, I mean, that's cool, but I don't know if I need that. You know, a big three-faced naked gold dude. Actually, you know what? I'm selling it to myself now. So I know people who are big into characters like your Inhumans, Silver Surfer, Fantastic Four, people who go a little bit more cosmic. You're going to appreciate that. Me, I'm a boots on the ground kind of person. New York City vigilantes is more my kind of thing. So I don't think I'd have a place for that dude. But maybe there'd be enough people that they could justify it. This is a really fun one, and certainly one that I would have never thought of myself, which is why I love to see what people post on the Facebook group. The Supreme Intelligence, the kind of, I was going to say the ruler of the Kree Empire. Is the Supreme Intelligence the ruler, or is it just like a tool that they use? Again, it's cosmic, so I know who it is, I know what it is, I can pick it out of a lineup, but I couldn't really tell you the backstory. But a big glowing green head in a jar, oh, just think they could actually make it an LED kind of deal, so it does glow and light up. I mean, it's direct to order. You can go a little bit more high end. That would be super fun, but highly unlikely. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. This would be a fun set. Arguably one that I'm like, does it need to be made to order? Because you could pretty much do the Hammond Collection T-Rex, paint it red, and have it come with the Moon Girl figure. Boom, there you go. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. I think the only way you could really justify it being made to order is if they went big with the T-Rex. I mean, the Hammond T-Rex actually I think is a great size. It scales really well with Marvel Legends. I just consider it to be like a baby T-Rex. But if they went a little bit bigger, gave him a cool bright red paint job, and you could even do like, because there's Moon Boy, isn't there? There's Moon Boy and Moon Girl, very two different looking characters. Because Moon Boy is kind of like a kind of a, what is he, like a Sasquatchy kind of character? I know he's just like a naked hairy kid. Sounds a bit weird, doesn't it? But I think Moon Girl looks really cool. She's got a really awesome character design. So either one of those with a big red dinosaur, yeah, I could see the appeal. A huge one for me that I'd love to see, but also I'd be really frustrated by as well, is Atlas from the Thunderbolts. Because I've actually sold all my Thunderbolts, except Citizen V. No one wants to buy him. Do you want a Citizen V? £5. So I would love to see Atlas finally get his due, but also I'd be like, well, I've been out of the game for a long time now. But man, I'd love them to just redo all the Thunderbolts because they're so old now. Songbird's one of my favorite characters, but her Marvel Legend, back when it came out, it didn't look great. Now it looks positively antiquated, but a new bells and whistles, big transforming Atlas, that'd be pretty wicked. One that I would have put under fun but unlikely is Shiva. And even some more hardcore comic book fans might be like, Shiva, where do I know Shiva from? Random Weapon H robot that Wolverine fights. Yeah, it's actually kind of cool. It's like a big end-of-level boss type, okay, we're down to our last resort, time to bust out Shiva. So it's a cool looking design as well. A bit of a, what's the name of the Thor armor guy? Him. Wow. You know what? Trying to talk on camera and think of stuff, it's not easy. The Destroyer. There you go. It's a bit like the Destroyer, but with a few more bells and whistles on him. Looks really cool. Would be like a mega figure type size character, but I think maybe a little bit too random to justify doing the full made to order treatment. Another one that would probably separate me from my money quite easily is the Spider Slayers. Any combination of big bad Spider Slayer. I'm guessing that they might want to go for the Spider-Man 94 look, because I mean, hey, we literally had those as action figures back in 1994, but now it's not so easy to make those big projects. So if they did the 3 different robots that you could stack on top of each other, again, what was I saying? I need a centerpiece for my Spider-Man display. That would be a pretty cool addition. Honestly, I'd love to see that. A character who has been conspicuous by his absence as far as Marvel Legends is concerned for a long time, Uatu, the Watcher. I think myself and most Marvel Legends collectors, we kind of settle for the Marvel Select Watcher, who actually scales really well because he's meant to be that little bit bigger. But maybe Marvel Legends were just holding off for a little while to get enough anticipation up that they could go, you know what? we're going to give you the direct order one. And maybe they could give him like lots of, I don't know, power effects. He's not really a power effect kind of person. He's just big cue ball head dude in a robe. But even then, they could maybe get away with doing that as a direct to order thing. And the final one that I'm going to suggest, take all the credit, Dave. The final one that I'm going to take from the group suggestions is the Fantasticar. Again, a bit of an outside-the-box kind of suggestion. It doesn't have to be a person or a living character. Why not a vehicle? I mean, the Hell Charger was a possibility. How about the Fantasticar? A great little thing that you could put all the different Fantastic Four members in. I don't know why I'm verbalizing it to you. We have pictures for that. But yeah, that's something that you wouldn't necessarily expect Hasbro to put on store shelves. But do a direct-to-order one, enough room for the whole family, throw in a Herbie as well. Yeah, that's another one I think could be really, really successful. Fantastic Four are riding relatively high right now. Even the comics are doing really well in the top 10s recently. So yeah, give us the Fantastic Four Fantasticar. I think a lot of people would be up for that. And folks, that does it for my countdown of the potential made-to-order figures that we might be getting announced before the end of the year. When are they going to be announced? No idea. But Danyan is a smart cookie, and I don't think he would have put that tweet out if he wasn't expecting to capitalize on it in the near future. So I think we're going to have our thoughts and questions put to rest very soon, and hopefully have something to get excited about. But yes, gang, those are my thoughts, but what are yours? Who do you think Hasbro should make for their next made-to-order figure? Comment below, let me know. And a huge big thank you as well to all the people whose names are scrolling up the side of me. I never know which side to point, which is ridiculous, but here we are. Thank you so much, all you channel members who helped me have the time to make these videos. I hope you enjoyed them. So until next time, keep displaying model behavior. Too far away again.